because I hit stop. Okay, this one, let's show you what I've been working on here. So this is just kind of what I was doing this morning. We can call it play. It sounds better if it's a little more exploratory. We have some screen printing there. So white feathers or white leaves over dark. It's got some bubble wrap here. A couple of other things happening there. But I want to talk about this guy. You see that's a guy, right?
Where are you pointing at?
So right there. It's okay. You don't need I'll show you in a second. And this guy. Where's my... Okay, there's a guy right there as well. And it's the same one, same paper, different transfer method. So we're gonna cover that. So, does anyone like to doodle something? Do you like to doodle? You like to doodle? Something just not super detailed. You can do that? Okay, I want you to doodle on this piece of paper and just make it about this size, whatever the doodle is. Anyone else want to do one? Nice. Okay, doodle. Now, if you don't like to doodle, that right there is where I got that guy image from. And all I did was take this with my newsprint and I traced it. Okay, so no pressure, or maybe lots of pressure. I don't know. But I just traced it with my pencil. It could be a pen, it doesn't matter. And then I put slip on the back side. So while you're doing that, I'm just going to put slip on a piece of newsprint and show you what we're doing and how you can get more specific images as we move forward. All right, let's do blue. I'm just going to take some blue and paint it on here. Now, if you have a what if, could I blend it? Sure you can. That's a great option. If I were to put this on my piece right now, a lot of the wet slip is going to transfer immediately, and I don't necessarily want that. So I'm going to let that dry till it is not shiny. Let's do another one in yellow. And we're just about to that time of the day where you get to play around with some of this stuff. Because that's my favorite part. I mean, I get excited to teach you, but it's the playing that's important to me. All right, so they're gonna start to dry. Let's find, this one's a great candidate because it's not a lot going on there. Remember, everything you do, it's going to react. So if I push down on some of these, they're gonna squish or they're gonna transfer. And you've gotta be paying attention to those things. If you're so in love with that, then you've gotta wait or come up with a way to make it so that doesn't disappear. So you can mask it out, you can stack something so it doesn't have any pressure on it, you can do something vertical. Okay, there's things that you can do as you move forward. I'm not so worried about it. Heck, you could even, if you want, just for randomness, do that, right? It's gonna transfer something, and all materials do. And there's my finger transferring. Okay.
Fingerprint transfer. Yes, we can get fingerprints now.
So I just got fingerprinted. A friend of ours are trying to, they have custody of their granddaughter, and they wanted us to be not guardians, but we, just in case we needed to take her overnight. And I went in, I'm just gonna gently set that on there, get fingerprinted, it's electronic. It took them like 40 minutes to get all my fingerprints. I'm like, it should not take this long. So I'm just gonna come in here. And push down. Wherever I'm pushing hard, it's gonna transfer information. Okay, so that's kind of cool, right? It's random, it's there, and it's kind of a fun way of getting, again, things happening that you can then cover up, or maybe that's covering up something else. So we're gonna set that there, and we're gonna take this one, and I really like what's happening here. Kind of old stucco. I really do like what's happening, but we're gonna cover it up just a little bit. So I'm gonna come at an angle here. Now, when I transfer this, the white stuff, it's not going to transfer because it's already transferred somewhere else, right? So I'm gonna come here, set that down, and I'm gonna push pretty hard to get this on there. You can always see, yep, it's transferring. If it's not wet enough, spray it on the front with a little bit of water, let it go non-shiny again. You can always add a little bit of water to the back here. If your goal is complete randomness on a controlled path, then we'll be able to get that. Yeah, it wasn't wet enough. So we're just gonna come here, spray it just a tiny bit.
What if we sprayed the clay piece?
The clay itself?
Yeah.
You can. Maybe that could be the problem because this is starting to dry out. So let me try it on this, which is just a little bit more leather hard. So I'm just gonna wrap this around there. Press in. If you've all taken my class, you haven't taken my class before. Do you remember doing the photos in Ceramics 1? Have we done photos yet? No, we just started doing them. Reflecting on them, one of the questions was something like, what's your favorite one, right? What's your favorite part? I always try to ask something like that because as I'm doing stuff, I have pieces that overall I'm like, that's nice. But there's like one part that when I set this on a shelf, that's gonna be pointed outward because I want people to see that because I'm just like, that's cool. That's my favorite part. That's where I wanna sit and look at. So I come in here and you can see where the white was before, it's gone, but I've also transferred some of that blue. Now, this is one of those examples of without doing the first transfer, you're not gonna get the second transfer, okay? And maybe you don't like the second transfer, so don't do it. But maybe you don't like the first transfer, so have a throwaway piece or something and do it. Now, doing this onto paper is gonna be different than if you do it onto clay, so it'll transfer different. So you're gonna get different results. Maybe that's what you want. Maybe, let's try this. I'm just gonna put this right on this yellow. And I'm gonna transfer that and see what happens. Which one goes where? Oh, we do a little bit of both. Okay, so now we have that. And then what do we wanna do with that? Well, the answer for me is I want to put it on here. We got the compass. This is kind of map-like topography stuff happening. And now we have multiple layers. Okay. Now, you really don't know what that's going to look like until you fire it. And some things will disappear, some things will recede, some things will pop out. All right, let's look at your doodles. What do we got? Okay. Scissors. Right there. So let's do, I like a bunch of these. So we're gonna do the skull and crossbones. And again, from my exploration this morning, doing it from this paper, you get worse, or I don't like the results as much as doing it from this paper. Okay, so if you can try it and you can play around with it, but this paper tends to peel off more. This paper tends to reveal the image underneath. So. Sweet. Okay, so I haven't done red yet. So we're gonna do this on the back side. This is exactly what I just did, but before I just did pretty quick squiggles. Paint that on there. And we're gonna let that get to a leather-ish, not leather, it's hard, a dull. Okay, I'm gonna do the same here. Nice. Okay, we're so close to letting you off into the wild. Do you ever feel like you're a baby bird and your mom or whoever's kicking you out of the nest? Do you ever feel like that? Yeah, if you're a senior, that's probably how you feel, pretty close to now in your life. All right, clean that up. Extra stuff on your paintbrushes. Do whatever you want with them, but I will have some pieces up here that you can just kind of wipe them semi-clean. Okay, so this is the skull, and we're gonna put this on this one. Now, the great thing about this is I know what direction it is because it's drawn on the back, okay? So I'm gonna come in, use something not sharp. We're gonna press down, and I'm going for like the concept or idea of stuff, not the exactness of stuff. Adapting, reacting, assessing. And then we're going to peel that off. And we've got something on there. So again, whether we like it or not, I think I like it because that brown in the back with the little dandelions and the blue and the red are all going to kind of interact with each other. I can come in here and take that and put it right there. Be mindful as you're working. Sometimes I do this. I'll be like hanging out down here. If you've ever painted and you paint big, if your canvas is up here, you're going to do a lot of work right here. And you've got to make sure you can either step up or bring your canvas down. It's the same thing here. If I can't see underneath, I'm not going to get to it. So I need to make sure I move this around. And that transferred some. Close enough. And now this. So we can always come in and make it a little bit more, I was going to say clean, but that's not what I mean. maneuverable or you can manipulate it better. So maybe I want this to go around a curve. Play around with your stuff. It's super important. But I think even more important than playing around with our stuff is paying attention to what we're playing around with. Okay, I've spit out some great stuff today, in my opinion, because my opinion is the only one that matters to me. Just kidding, that's not true. Well, it's also not true. What's your homework for the weekend? To think about one of the concepts we've done on the board or talked about. Maybe that was a tiny bit wet, but that's okay. We've got some eyes happening. I could now come back in and carve it. I could do the same thing over and over. If you want, before you do some of these things, maybe we can make some copies so you have the same thing to use over and over. Because if it's just a drawing, that's like maybe 2 times use, right? But if I make a copy of that, then you can retransfer it multiple times. It can be like a concept that you have. And that'll be, I leaned on it a little much, you can tell, because a ton of that came off. Anything else I need to cover? The answer is no. Okay, that's it. Now, I'm going to put that back on the board.